Okay, so now I want to do my part two. So I want to give you 5 tips to creating a strong character arc. So, part one, okay, step one, you want to make sure that your character is experiencing some type of a problem or a situation. So, um, some type of internal or external problem. And if it's going to be an external problem, you have to make sure that it kind of manifests itself into reality with their life. So, say for instance, with the film Moving Day, we seen that the protagonist main character, Kevin Lasseter's character, was was experiencing internal conflict issues. He felt like he wasn't um, he he wasn't secure and confident in himself because he wanted more. He didn't want to keep working for the company Redmans. He didn't want to keep being a furniture mover. So that kind of manifested itself into his reality. People weren't taking him seriously. His coworkers kind of took him as a joke, and at that time, he kind of didn't take himself seriously. So until he hit a turning point and knew that he wanted better, he knew that he could get better. His friend, which is played by Charlie Murphy's character, kind of would motivate him to say, hey, if you want better, you got to do better. You have to go after the things that you want in life. You can't just sit on your butt and just say, hey, I want more, but don't go after it. So, that was that turning point. And then once the things that were happening at his job, and, once he realized that his job wasn't going to be much sustainable much longer, he had to realize he just had to go for it. So, you know and once he went for it, that made him a lot happier. And he didn't have to do as much. He spent more time with his kids, and he was a lot happier. So he went from being insecure, weak, and underachiever to being confident and happier. So let's say what I'm saying is that's that internal battle in his mind had to manifest itself into his reality. And number two is to um, you see them lots of different minor situations. So that situation that they have an internal or external problem is keeping them from kind of growing. Is it keeping them from growing? Can it help them grow? They just kind of start their journey, basically. And number three is their path to growth. You know, they're at that point of no return, their aha moment, or their turning point in the story where they be like, "Hey, I can't do this," or "I can do this," or "I want to go after this guy or this girl, go to this university," or whatever the story may be. So point three is kind of like the halfway point in the story. They have like kind of like their turning point. And four is plot is where the plot either helps they either grow and change, or we see them kind of growing and changing, or we don't, and they just kind of like revert back into the way they were before. And number five is to bringing out internal or external conflicts. Is there? Sorry, that is the dumpster. It's trash day. Either number five is that success. So we either see a breakdown or a breakthrough. So when I say this, either like Training Day, that was a breakdown. That was a breakdown of his character. Like I said, the people that used to be afraid of Alonzo Harris, which was Denzel's character in the movie Training Day, when they used to be afraid of him, they went from being afraid of him towards the end of the story, where he was like, oh, King Kong ain't nothing on me. I'm gonna have you, doing this, that, and the third. People were no longer afraid of him. People were no longer afraid of him. They're just like, oh, whatever. They knew that he was about to get axed out anyway. They knew that he was basically had a target on his head, So that was a breakdown, because instead of him doing what he had to do, he felt like, okay, well, I'm untouchable, I'm unstoppable, I can just flee the country or flee the state or whatever. But that didn't happen. So that was a breakdown. Now with, let's say, Moving Day, that was a breakthrough. Okay, so to me that was like a breakthrough, because we saw that the character went from being weak and not confident to the end where he was very confident in himself and achieved the goal that he set out for himself, was to give himself a better life. So that was a breakthrough. So so that right there, I just hope that those examples were kind of clear. That I want to give you kind of an example with those films, with the story between breakthrough and breakdown. So, and the last thing I wanted to just share a quick tip for aspiring writers who do want to write a story or whatever, because it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to always keep working on your craft as a writer. Even if you have written stuff before, it doesn't hurt to just keep perfecting your craft and learning as much as you can about story and writing. So a helpful site that I found was called helpingwritersbecomeauthors.com. That was a very helpful resource for me. So it talks about story structure, plot structure, character development, all those things. So I don't know, I just want to pass that tip along to you. And this has been another Get Life Friday session with Janae Marie. And you can join me next time, as I'll be giving you more tips about writing that great story and give you tips on motivation. All right, peace.